Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Angry Army Weekly. Coming up this week, people are angry because a company apologized on Twitter. No, seriously. Razer, in response to Apple's recent policy of removing as many universal ports as possible, tweeting saying, "You call yourself pro? S my D," with a picture of an SD card in an SD slot. Apparently, a bunch of people got angry about this, saying it was offensive and aggressive. Razer tweeted, "More like storage language, we're not looking to offend, just proud of our SD card slot, which is becoming increasingly rare." Apparently, this was not enough to simmer down the Twitter outrage. They deleted the tweets and sent out a new one saying, "We apologize for the SD reader joke. To those who were offended, it was intended as a lighthearted turn of phrase that missed the mark." That was the end of it, right? Nope. People are angry, they apologized. People are angry, they apologized. What the Can we see that tweet from that one dumbass? Yeah. He literally threw away his keyboard because Razer apologized for a bad joke. Was the original tweet offensive? No, not really. Should they have apologized? I mean, not in my eyes, unless they're apologizing for not making a better joke. Is it a bad thing that they apologized? Fuck no. Y'all need to fucking chill. I saw more outrage about this than the extremely miscalculated marketing campaign for Battlefield 1, hashtag just World War I thing. Speaking of EA and fucking up, which seems to be a constant theme in these episodes, too many people are chill about EA's cock-blocking of an entire country, Myanmar. Right there. EA restricted access to Origin and any games the residents may have paid for the entire country, citing that they, in accordance with US law, EA is legally required to restrict online services to residents of countries that are embargoed. This isn't an EA-specific issue. It's an issue that impacts all companies offering services that are covered by trade embargoes. Here's the thing, it is an EA-specific issue, because online and digital goods are not covered under the sanctions for one, and for two, no other digital platform, like Steam for instance, has had to take such actions. On top of that, the sanctions were put in place nearly 20 years ago. The only reason it's in recent memory is because on the 14th of September, President Obama said that the US was lifting the sanctions program in place against Myanmar. This took effect on the 7th of October. Residents of Myanmar were not given any notice or even an apology. Just out of nowhere, accounts were met with an access denied message. On the other side of digital distribution, Steam has implemented a new policy in its upcoming Discovery Update 2.0 in which screenshots that do not represent the final product of the game will be banned. In update notes sent to Eurogamer, Valve had the following statement. "We haven't been super crisp on guidelines for screenshots in the past, so we'd like to take this opportunity to clarify some rules in this space. When the screenshot section of a store page is used for images other than screenshots that depict the game, it can make it harder for customers to understand what the product is that they are looking at. Additionally, we're going to start showing game screenshots in more places as described above, and these images need to be able to represent the game. We ask that any images you upload to the screenshot section of your store page should be screenshots that show your game. This means avoiding using concept art, pre-rendered cinematic stills, or images that contain awards, marketing copy, or written product descriptions. Please show customers what your game is actually like to play. Dota 2 is an example of where we were doing it wrong ourselves. We're now in the process of updating Dota 2 to use screenshots of the game rather than artwork." Wait, did I just witness Valve admitting they did something wrong? Mom, get the camera! Jokes aside, I have no doubt that this is fallout from the disastrous marketing campaign of No Man's Sky, and the subsequent lawsuits and investigations into Hello Games. The Forza Horizon 3 team is looking forward as they tease their new expansion, showing a beautiful Lambo on a frosty landscape. Look at it, it's just so pretty. While the location isn't officially announced or confirmed, the logical assumption is that it will open up New Zealand as an area. By the way, if you enjoy racing games, simulation and arcade alike, you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't played Forza Horizon 3. It's fucking fantastic. With the release of the Xbox One Pro controller, it was only a matter of time before Sony themselves got into the Pro controller game. Well, they still aren't, but they're officially supporting two third-party controllers that are upcoming, the Nacon Revolution and the Razer Rage. Aside from being an absolute eyesore and the fucking ugliest controllers I've ever seen, these controllers both actually boast a lot of welcome features. The biggest thing to note is that they're both wired to appease actual pro gamers, because there have been issues at pro events in the past with outside signals interfering with the DualShock 4's Bluetooth signal. And even if the controller is plugged into the console, it's still paired via Bluetooth. These are both straight up wired controllers. Moving on to the local news. I have with us here our local AJSA correspondent, Jayson number 3. How's it going out there, Jayson? Thank you, Jayson number 1, and I'm sitting outside the AJSA headquarters here, and I have a report from the Xbox One side of the AJSA. On October 29th, they took to Halo 5 for their 1-year event anniversary, and in this year, they've held nearly 50 events. Members engaged in custom game modes and maps that were specifically selected for the anniversary event. Later, the event group was split into 2 squads and went to play online multiplayer. This event had 14 total participants. Also, on the 29th, they took to Overwatch with 12 participants. This past Overwatch gathering held on Xbox One was themed and curated around the Halloween event, Junkenstein's Terror. The host, Wookiee Jedi, split up the event group into various teams and had them go through the complete Junkenstein's Terror game mode. The host wanted to make sure that anyone who didn't have a chance to unlock the Halloween items in-game had the chance to do so, and the teams banded together again as one group after that, and they closed the event with some custom game modes. Upcoming on the Xbox One side of the AJSA, Minecraft on November 3rd, 2016 at 7:30 p.m. EST with host AJSA Bambo. Battlefield 1 on November 4th, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. EST with hosts Rune and Slade Bogatti. Halo and Overwatch on November 5th at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. EST with hosts Awakening Rager and Wookiee Jedi respectively. The event week on Xbox ends off with Rocket League at 6 p.m. EST with host Bambo. Back to you, Jayson number 1. Thank you for your report, Jayson number 3. That's all the news we have time for today. If you'd like more news and less of my shitty opinions, Legolas Katarn, a fellow AJSA commander, does a weekly news roundup on the AJSA site. You can find a link to the article down in the description. In this article, he does roundups of thought pieces, of other news, and reviews, and various other things that I don't cover here. If there's news that I missed that you'd like me to cover, or you hear some fresh stories yourself, make sure to let me know at my Twitter, @Jaysons Rage. And until next time, you all stay sexy out there.